Hey there. What the hell is that? It is an enemy. Well, great. That's a wonderful way to start this session. Since I am playing Ermac now, and there were people there, I got scared and I thought I could just get into building an air machine in TerraTech, because that's going to be easier than dealing with players that I don't even have to talk to. Because what if they would want to talk to me for some odd reason? Let's just destroy this instead, if it doesn't kill me first. Ah! Okay, it did. It had more firepower. Well, since I didn't save, I can always do that. Because I'm a piece of scum. Anyway, that was unfortunate, but I'm not that surprised, because this is actually not that powerful attack. It is not even supposed to be that powerful attack. I don't even know what I was trying to do with this, but I do. I just wanted one for everything, and this was what I created after mine got totally destroyed. But these guns, these guns are just terrible. Rail guns have very high range, but that's it. That's the only thing there is to it. They don't have any other good points. Not a single one. Oh, hello. Oh, that got blasted. Wait. If I try real hard, I might be able to... Okay. No. If I try real hard, I may be able to angle this behemoth correctly so that it actually faces towards the enemy, and from this range, believe it or not, the railguns would kill it. At least that's what I think. The problem is I can't aim no matter what the weapon is, so aiming with a railgun is very improbable. That is just out of range. That is just in range. Turret! Dude! You're supposed to shoot. What the hell? Don't I have a traveling black hole somewhere? I do have a traveling black hole. This all is a mess that's going to negatively affect my performance if I leave it lying around, and it will positively impact my performance because there's those huge wheels if I collect it. So it's a win-win if I do. Yay! What's these weapons? It's the most useless guns ever, isn't it? Those SMG, I think those actually did have decent DPS, but they were still horrible, so it's not that great. Okay. Now he will have a much better time hitting me than I will have hitting him, because he has better weapons. Still, he's not hitting me yet at all. That's weird. Am I hitting him though? I think I am. He's still not hitting me. It's all about the angles. He looks like he's about ready to pop. Ah, he's got Heelys. Well. Rain it down. Ah man, all those guns. Is that megatons? Well, no. No wonder he had more firepower. Those things are beast. It would be nice if I could just kill him, but that would require some precision drilling. Or a lot of rockets, of course. Which is also precision drilling. Unfortunately, I don't have either, but I will be building some kind of machine today. It will be an air machine though, so no precision involved. I think I will be going... Ooh, yes. Blow, blow. Thank you, thank you. I will be going over the physics in TerraTech today. I think I will be making some prototypes as proof of concept rather than just build a fully functional aircraft to begin with. First, the proof of concept things, a couple actually, because there are a few things I want to talk about when it comes to the physics and concept of an aircraft in this game. And then I'll build something that might or might not work. I don't know. That said, there is going to be some skipping because, well, a prototype will take some time to build. And the final product will take ages to build, so I have no idea how long it's gonna take. And my videos are plenty long already, so no, I'm not going to do that. Not today. Every other day, yes, but not today. Okay, let's begin the building. First, the proof of concept things. Hello, it is me. Whee! As you can see, this thing can fly. Done. Aircraft finished. That was a terrible joke. Anyway. The most terrible idea that just occurred to me is something that you should probably never do. But do I even... Okay, I do. As you can see... Oh, god damn it. As expected, as you can see, the tiny little booster can make a difference if you use it correctly. The thing about this is that it is all based on weight. Just like with wheels, you can overload them, but with aircraft it's much more important because the more you build, the greater the gravity affects you, and the more the weight matters, which tends to end up in funny scenarios, and I don't mean what just happened, that was nothing. If I, however, build something different. To be an aircraft. Yes, it's a brake. Anyway, if I build something different, you can totally make this fly. It's no problem whatsoever. That's going to be expensive if it dies. It's going to be unbalanced though. Well, I'll have to figure it out somehow. This is only for demonstration purposes anyway. Oh, I totally nailed that. So I think it's unbalanced because, well, this thing is centered around one block. The weight is actually very centered. Well, it's you're trying to deal with the center of it all, which, yep, that won't fly. Not enough lift. That said, this is a great idea. You should totally try this at home. Absolutely. This is just asking for trouble right here. That's just ridiculous. Do you even lift, bro? See? It did lift. And if I try real hard, I can something like I won't continue because it's way too bottom heavy. But so it tilts, but I would need more gyros to keep this stable because it's badly balanced, but that's not my point. You can get ridiculous amounts of lift, and this was just about right, I would say. And if I take some of these boosters off, I think it should go quite well this time around for a demonstration. Okay, as you can see, that got blown up. Anyway, as you can see, it does take some amount of messing around just to get stuff working, and every single thing affects it greatly. So yeah, every single bloody thing counts, and this thing is heavy as hell. Oi! Don't scrap that. That was my fault though, because I totally messed up. Anyway. This means well, the physics are fairly difficult to deal with if you're a casual like me and you're just trying to do something that will be cool and it will fly. Now, to make a thing hover in the air, which means control it properly, not fly as in plane thing, but hover as in helicopter thing, that is a little problem. Let me just get something simple build. Hopefully it will be stable enough to show what I'm trying to get at here. That said, I can just add gyros, and because it will be really light, it won't be a problem. Let's go with a super powerful lift here. And yes, steering hovers. These things are great, but there is a problem with them. These things are what you would use for hover techs. That's way too much power in that, but I'm just making this for the demonstration of the mechanics, so it works out perfectly. Where's my gyros? It would be really funny if I found out that I scrapped them all. Because those things are expensive as hell. Nope, there they are, all four. 2 should be enough, but again, for the demonstration, let's break all of them. Ooh, as you can see, it's almost working decently. The problem is that it's a very powerful lift and it's way out in the front. So, if I move it a little bit to the back, it should... Yep, there we go. So, the problem with the steering is that you can see that, right? It's moving to the side more than just steering. It is steering a little bit, but that's because of the balance that I made. Which brings me to the next demonstration. Ugh. Ah, god damn it! Landing is just like in real life difficult. If you're landing yourself as a body, jumping from a skyscraper. Anyway, this was off balance a little bit, and that's why it did steer a little bit. But for most of the thing, it will just push you in the direction you want to. You're trying to go, so it's not useful at all because you won't be steering, you will be moving in that direction. So if I do this, however, I still want to keep it as a landing gear, so let's just chuck in some blocks. If I do this, it will steer because it's off balance. And I don't mean the tech. The tech is fairly balanced thanks to all the gyros, but this can be steered because it only has... Ah, god damn it! It only has the steering boosters in the front. If you put them to the back, it will steer as well, but in the opposite direction, because you're telling the boosters where to go. See? If I want to go to the right, it will blast to the left. If I want to go to the left, it will blast to the right, no matter where they are. If I put them over here... Did they change that? That's weird. No, they didn't. It's still the same. Hey! Bloody hell. So the design has to be compatible with that. Physics thing. And because of that, I did make a dropship that worked, but it had the steering on the back because there's just way too much to put onto a ship if you want to make it work. I had rockets on it because you need a weapon, right? And it was fairly well balanced, thanks to all the gyros, but also it was fairly well balanced to begin with. The problem is, if you want it to steer properly, you need it to have the boosters to the front side of the tech. I had it in the back, so it was a little bit awkward trying to steer backwards. It did work though, so that was amazing. That said, I want to try something a little bit different than last time. So I will be making this is already a lot of weight, but that should provide lift instead. I will be making a back-oriented tech. I think I should switch that up though. Yeah, the cabin should be more to the back. Another thing is, if you want to have a good tech, you should play some min-maxing and not do just cool stuff, because that will leave you with a horrible tech that will die in one shot, like that thing over here. That big thing that just got thrashed by a much smaller one. No, it wasn't smaller, but it had much more cannons, because this is no firepower. This is zero. This is absolutely nothing, especially the mortars are useless. Anyway, you should min-max, and what I'm doing here is not min-maxing at all, so it will probably end up in a horrible way. But at least it could be funny, so let's hope for that. So my design is going to be back heavy. I'm going to use Venture for once, because even though I hate Venture blocks, it might help me with the weight issue a little bit. Besides, you know, it's an aircraft, it shouldn't get hit to begin with. If an aircraft gets hit, it's bad design, because it wasn't supposed to get hit. I missed it the first time, so I have to click. Oh, god damn it! I failed that. No, god, no, you know what? Never mind. Aha, there we go. Aha, that's the thing that I wanted to do, and it actually worked for once. So anyway. Yeah, I think... Now, the problem with weight when it comes to an air tech is... Well, you have to balance it somehow, and you can't use a buttload of gyros, because that will be unstable as hell when it comes to steering, and it will also be way too straight, and you will use millions and millions of cash to just build it, and then it gets broken, because ultimately everything will get destroyed, especially when I'm building it. But I'm not really worried about breaking it, because whatever. The problem is, I want it to fly well. So this should help with all the steering needs. Even though it's going to be heavy, that should be plenty. Now the real issue is balancing the front and the back boosters, because on the back I have these very fine rotor fans, which are the best in the game, of course. Love them so much, they look cool. But in the front, I don't have anything like that, because I'm a scrap and I don't have that kind of luxury to put them everywhere. So, a lot of testing will be necessary, and I'm talking a lot. Even though I said I wouldn't. I would skip this. See? The lift for now is decent. So let's try to make the back part heavier by actually adding all the stuff that will be needed to fly this thing and do something with it. What will be absolutely necessary is batteries. A small capacity battery. Well, if they are lighter than an equal charge of normal batteries would be, that's fine. I need to make some structure here first, though. Oh, got it that time. Alright. Where's the bats? I'll just chuck these in, because it doesn't matter where they go that much. I will need a radar, I have to remember that. So, batteries. I wanted to try the Venture ones. Right over here. The back side. I need to put some landing on there, so not there. Okay, over here, and that's the last one for now. Huh. If I turn it around... Yeah, that's not too bad. I thought they would have much worse integrability. No, that's the one I wanted. Okay, good. That should be fine. And now the battery is charged, right? Yes. Since the testing will be absolutely devastating, I'll just chuck in some repair bubbles. Oh my, that's horrible. That's not even going to cover it all. Oh well. Now, let's be not idiotic about it, okay? I will try my best. If I want to make any kind of tests, I should probably do something to prevent damage to the expensive parts of this craft by giving it legs. These legs are not ideal whatsoever, but it should be enough. It's standing. They are pretty light to not affect. Wow, those gyros are doing work. Okay. I know it looks like a flying table that's really badly built, but you know, proof of design, whatever you want to call it. It does fly a tiny bit. I think it could be scaled, and it can most certainly be improved upon. Now, if you want to test your weight distribution, it's best to take the gyros off. Let me just do that for a second. Holy hell, my weight distribution is actually spot on. That's dead on. That's really surprising. Anyway, I will be needing way more lift to the front, however, because that's where most of the core systems will be. And that's why The problem is I need the tail to be heavy. I need the tail to be the heaviest part of it all, because otherwise I won't be able to steer following the principles of physics. Because the center of mass, I need it to be way in the back. I just thought of something really nice though. The design that I have in mind right now is stupid. It really is. Basically, my thought train is, I need all the systems to be in the front of this whole thing, flying thing. Because I need most of the weight up front. So instead of making the front as heavy as possible and lightening up. No, wait, I need the back to be heavier than the front. That's the point. I'm an idiot. So my point is, if I want the center of the mass to be back, and I need all the systems up front, because that's where the firepower needs to be, the shields and the repairs, because you will get hit and stuff like that. Make the back as heavy as possible. With batteries and all the other things that don't need to be up front. Now, this is no longer balanced whatsoever. Oh my. This has as much balance as I don't know what, even what the hell would have such tiny amount of balance. I have no friggin' idea. The thing is, I can build up here and I can build down here with the engines. The design could also work with normal batteries built around the rotors, but it's a very daring way to go. Very daring way. Now, I don't want to overdo this nonsense. And I don't have any more of those wonderful rotors that I'm using. So I need to use just whatever I can right now to prove a point and then work with the design further. These things are too big, so I'll be using these. Perfect. Now I need to make the front heavy, which is really easy. I can just chuck in whatever, because there's so many things you want up front, right? Done. That's all the heavy I need. That's all the heavy I can get even. Those things are so ridiculously heavy that just two will tilt your tech forward, even if you put many batteries up back. I mean, these batteries are huge, so it's not really going to be as dramatic as I said, but funny. My mind just got sidetracked, so don't worry about it. My mind just got totally sidetracked. I mean, 0%. Oh, come on, really? I'm so done. I should just uninstall the game right now. Well, I'm not going to do that, but I think it's pretty clear what I mean. Anyway, seriously, that friggin' thing existed. That's very convenient. Too bad I was too idiotic to find it earlier. Jeez, that was dumb of me. Well, it's the other way around, but who cares, right? I can always turn it. And I will have to turn it, but these things don't have any lift whatsoever. That's why I'm putting so many of them. And I still need the gyros, because this is no longer balanced nearly enough. See, that's a lot of lift to the front. I think I can make it heavier though, and I need to make it heavier, so testing it for lighter load will not actually help in any way. I need to increase the weight so that the measurements are as clear as possible. Yeah, that's the one. I need to make the measurements actually what do you call it? Well, I need them to speak for the actual thing that will happen when I use it. The proper results. Actually, the actual thing that will happen. Also, rockets! You gotta have rockets, it's just every single bloody time. Rockets are wonderful. Also, what the hell is this thing doing? Is it even working? Oh, it is. It's firing fireworks, but fireworks aren't doing anything, I suppose. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked again. I wanted to make this heavy, right? And also to add the gyros, which I didn't add because I got completely... My mind got exploded by that make base faster thing. Aha! Now, another thing is, since it's all based around the mass, where you put your engines actually matters. See? See? It doesn't tilt back as nearly as much anymore. What the hell was that block? Havoc shield. What does this do? Good amount of protection. Oh, it's the hex thing. I love the looks of that. Just look at it. Yes! Ah! It's got corners. You know it's good when it's got corners. I'm getting sidetracked again, goddammit. So... Huh. No, I need some of these back over here. That should provide some kind of decent test lift. Of course, if I just get enough of these, it will be the end, because those things, they have massive lift and they can do anything. Okay, getting there. Getting there. I will be using all of my engines for this, but this is just to see how much lift I'm going to need. Hey, that's off-centered. God damn it, I just talked about it too. It matters where you put your bloody engines. Yeah. Since some of the things are best in center, you can't build two core, like side by side, two blocks as the main spine, but a single spine works much better. So you have to build everything around that as well. Now, as you can see, that's a lot of lift that isn't really working. The question is, how much more lift than I currently have will I need? Because this is a scalable system that I can go with. Okay, not too much. That booster just got eaten in its capacity. It was funny. Another thing is that you can add hover plates, which are different. They're about 2x2 and they make you hover, not fly. So they are good to reduce the relative weight of the thing, but they don't actually help you with flying, and it can even make the whole bloody thing uncontrollable completely. So I'm being very careful with those. It can really mess things up. Oh, this is really interesting though. Okay, that got blown up, but this is interesting. You could have a dual action flying machine. Boosters for liftoff, and then run out of fuel and just... But that wouldn't work too well because your flying manipulation would have to be even more decent than it already needs to be when you deal with this kind of stuff. I think I'll just make this the... It's been a kind of long talking for me. I think I'll just keep this the theory phase, and I think I showed much of the things that I was talking about. And I'll leave the building for when I actually have enough of the rotors that are great. I need it to be off balance because of the thrusters. If it's off balance enough, it will steer perfectly well. If it's not, the more balance towards the center it will have, the worse the steering will be. That's why I'm trying so hard to make it back heavy. That said, it also needs to have the engines properly balanced. So it's that more difficult. Ah, there go the leg. But this design will work. I mean, the steering works perfectly. The balancing needs some work, and I need more lift power, so it needs more parts. I also need more rockets to chuck to the front, and I think it will work perfectly well as an aircraft. Even though it's something completely different from what I've been doing so far. Anyway, I've been talking a long time, and this has been a more active thing than I thought it would be. There was a lot of theory in it. So I think I will stop talking now, and I will actually get the stations next time, and then... Well, I still have to build some kind of tech I could use, because that thing is useless. Give it over here. Give that over here. You're bloody useless tech. Stupid mortars. I still have to build a decent tech to use before I can even get to the mining stuff, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to improve my carrier because this is supposed to be the main thing and not a scrub. So I'm going to make it decent, and decent even when the AI controls it, which that's going to be the hard part, because I may be a scrub, but I'm a player scrub. No, I did not notice it until now. I just looked at the minimap now. If it was a bigger tech, my whole bloody watchtower would have been destroyed. The problem is, they all just went into waiting mode because they were waiting for me to come back to the game, idiots. God damn it. So, this was the theoretical flying phase with a lot of practical examples. I just had to remind myself, so sorry about that, you had to go through that, but you might have heard something useful. So, next time I'm going to finish this behemoth in some way and build some more techs and move with those towards the mining stuff, which I need to, well, get more rotors and stuff like that. So for now, see ya.